Hello lovelies, welcome to the channel. It's Rad, and tonight's live stream is going to be all about Pluto. It's quite huge, and the thing it is that we're gonna see just a glimpse of what Pluto in Aquarius actually is going to do. And today, talking with Pisces Moonbeam about it, the conclusions that we both reached is it is already day in because it happened on yesterday, I believe, 23rd. Yes, 23rd, 8:23 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So since yesterday there are a lot of things that happened on a small scale yet, but remember, Pluto haven't really nested into Aquarius, and that is because as now it enters into Aquarius, very soon is going to go retrograde, and then at 11th of June is going to exit Aquarius and is going to get back in in Capricorn. I'm sorry, and it's going to stay there for quite a while, and now ultimately. Pluto enters Aquarius for good in November 19th, 2024, and is going to stay there up until March 2043. Okay, so it's going to stay there for almost 20 years, actually 20 years, 19 and a half years. Okay, and this is going to be a huge time for the world. There will be a lot of changes, okay, but we're going to look into that transit if I am still around at 19th of November 2024. For now, what we're going to focus into is this small transition ingression that Pluto is going to do and how it's going to affect us before it gets back into Capricorn. Again, this effect, it will be felt by all of us, and it should be on a global scale, but again, it will affect us as well personally. So with that said, onto the thumbnail, I have displayed 3 cards which I pre-drew today, and this is the collective reading for Pluto going into Aquarius. And the first card for that, it's 5 of Wands. Then it is catalyzed from one side with the 9 of Wands. And from the other side, we do have the Ace of Wands. Okay. So that is how these 3 cards stand, and there will be a bit of a volatility to how things are going to take off from now on. For it's the five of Wands, really, as you can see, all these people fighting. Okay, so what this truly tells us, it is that the correct or the right or the best way forward, really, it's anyone's guess. And therefore, at this very moment, at that very stage, things moving forward in terms of development will happen to be quite unpredictable, not because things are prone to fall apart or to deteriorate in any way, but it is because there are yet things to happen, and this clue is given to us by the Ace of Wands that we do have here next to the 5 of Wands. Okay, and so the Ace of Wands shows us in a collision with the 5 of Wands, it is that throughout the next couple of 5 months there are to be quite a few surprising gainful enterprises which are going to show up. Okay, and should we do have a rather fixed view or fixed intentions, how can I put it into words, fixed perspective, so to speak, we may not be able, as the time becomes true, to take advantage of these new gainful enterprises, which again are to happen to be quite surprising, meaning that it's gonna catch us with our pants down, bottom line. And thus we need to be very opportunistic, so to speak, throughout the duration of the next couple of months, And phrases like "I can't do it" should be completely banned and expelled from our dictionary, because with the Five of Wands being there, basically, should we do the effort, or should we have the intentions to do the effort and start doing it, right? Literally, there isn't a thing that we cannot push forward should the thing present itself to us as an opportunity. And with the Nine of Wands being on the other side, that pretty much gives the incentive to set up or settle. No, it's not, the word is not settle. Yeah, it's kind of like set up, configure, right? To configure our personal and mundane aspects of our lives, like a schedule, you know, like a routine, like you even if you may find yourself that you do need, or you do have the urge, so to speak, to renovate your home. Here with the Nine of Wands next to the Five of Wands, this is when people see that they do have the power to exert certain changes into their lives. Okay, these are a conscious, completely controlled changes. These are not changes that you can't do anything about. In fact, you are the one who does everything about it. And through these changes, we all can make our lives much, much easier in the next couple of months. I do sincerely hope that when Pluto moves into Aquarius for good, 19th of November 2024, this is the tendency that is going to be kept with it. And one last thing here, many of us are going to happen to be quite surprised for the turnout of the events for the next couple of months, because certain things that we may have scratched out, okay, certain things which we gave up on, so to speak, gave up on going forward with, but maybe we have preserved and maintained the hope that one day things could, you know, break through in that regard. Well, it's very likely that is going to break through in the next couple of months. So that is the collective general reading for Pluto going into Aquarius. Mattia, thank you so much for the $20 PayPal support. Thank you, Mattia. At the end of the stream, you will have your personalized reading, how this aspect is going to affect you personally next couple of months. Right, so a few notes about the show before I move forward. What is going to happen, guys? It is that I'm going to do 12 readings, one for each star sign, starting up with Aries, and I'm going to end up with Pisces. And you can check on which star sign I'm on with the glyph being displayed here. In a second you will see what I'm talking about. Another thing it is that if you do wish to have a personal reading with me, you can always go to my website, and there at the very front page you can see a full list of my services and as well their pricing. My website you can find in the description down below. And finally, if you do decide to support the stream and the channel through Super Chat or through PayPal, you're going to have a reading at the end of the stream. That's pretty much guaranteed. And should your support is $20 or above, the reading is going to be that very same Elemental Dignity reading that I did for the general reading, and as well that I'm going to do for each star sign. So starting up first, we do have Aries. All right, so for Aries, we do have the King of Swords, followed by the Four of Wands. And the third one for you, Aries, that will be the Three of Wands. So as it is a general reading, let me get something clear here. As it is a general reading, court cards being into the prime position, all right? So being the main card here, they could stand for a person, social circle, or organization, all right? So that is how they can stand for, or what they can stand for. And so what we do have, it is the King of Swords being supported by the Four of Wands and the Three of Wands. So what this really means, it is that either an individual or organization, like I said, or your social circle, but I don't believe that it's going to be your social circle, more like a specific individual or an organization is going to help you to finish things up, to wrap things around in a very, very successful manner, in a very productive, fruitful, and also, for the lack of a better word, I'm going to use contiguous way, because that when you wrap things around, that will give you the necessary, so to speak, foundation and means to proceed forward with your agenda. And I don't believe that this is going to be someone from your social circle or your social circle, because the King of Swords has a professional background. All right, this is, for example, your lawyer, or a lawyer. This is, for example, a physician, medical doctor, all right, a business accountant, business advisor, a financial advisor, a broker, and so on and so forth. And through their professional expertise, what happens here, it is that you are to pinpoint the important and very valuable even details that are surrounding your situations, whether you do have a personal or a business situation, right? Because that could be as well your, for example, a couples therapist, right? But this person or that organization is going to pinpoint the important aspects that you really have to focus on, right? And you really need to get through with them. And once this is done, what this is going to do is help you to complete this very important, finalize these very important cycles of your development. And once that happens, you will find yourself sitting on a very well established patterns. And from there, once you turn your glance back toward the past, you will see that there is nothing more to be accomplished in that regard in its current phase, and therefore you need to challenge yourself to literally go for more. So with this individual stepping in for you, that will relieve you from a huge concerns, problems, even, you know, plights, and in generally is going to open up your way, moving forward through difficulties, solving them, and getting yourself being a very, very successful. As this is a general reading, should that have a romantic incentive with this individual, you have to be warned here, Aries, that at least for the time being, it's all about a physical attraction, okay? Because there is nothing in regards to emotions in those cards. Jasmine, thank you so much for the $19.99 support. Thank you, Jasmine. At the end of the stream, you're going to have your personalized reading, how this transit is going to affect you. By the way, Mattia, thank you. I'm okay, thank you. Last Monday, there was no stream because I really felt ill. Few hours before the stream, I felt dizzy, nauseated, and therefore I just, you know, I could have gone forward with the stream, but it's just I was about to be winded, so I decided not to. Hello, Thea. Welcome to the stream. So moving forward, we do have Taurus. All right, first one for Taurus, that will be the Chariot, followed by the second card here of the Four of Cups, And the last one that we do have, that will be the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, so these three cards. Because of these two cards here, Taurus, the Chariot and the Four of Cups, you actually have the luxury to decide how you want to have your next couple of months as far as Pluto in Aquarius is concerned. So what happens here is that you can really quench on your current endeavors that you are trying, or that you are rather successfully moving forward with. And at the end of the this cycle of Pluto, I don't know how to put it into words, this part of Pluto going back into Capricorn, you are to find yourself being very proud of your accomplishments. But those two cards are showing also that there is another way. Okay, and this other way can only be discovered from you, Taurus, if you stop thinking emotionally, or you consider your emotions when you are making choices about how to push forward regarding whether your love life or regarding whether your career as well. I know that especially love life, very hard, not to take your emotions under consideration, but that is what those cards are speaking. And especially if you are recently started dating someone, it will be important to do so, because according to these cards, it's not really a danger, it's more like a warning here that you may be jumping into it way too recklessly and way too early. So it wouldn't hurt you if you slow down your horses a little bit so you can get to know that person a bit better. Other than that, no matter which way you decide to move forward here, it seems that whatever you do, it will happen to be quite of a preparation for you to make a huge leap into development. So I don't know for you what kind of a surprising gainful enterprise is going to be. Maybe you already have it. Okay, and it fits you, by the way, Taurus, because for the little I know about your star sign, you don't like surprises, so surprises aren't gonna be there. But your efforts, let's put it that way, will gonna produce a huge results for you moving forward, love life and as well business wise. And as I said, a huge leap into development. That leap is going to be in a direction of your wish or dream, so to speak. And the more difficult your efforts now are, the bigger the price at the end. All right, so that was Taurus. Next we do have Gemini. Hello, Shakti. Debbie, long time no see. For Gemini, we do have the Seven of Wands. Then it is the Lovers. And the final one, that will be the Three of Swords. All right, so for you, Gemini, it will be a bit of a lesson. This transit literally is going to teach you, and the lesson is that you can't have everything. Okay, so what is to happen there is that at some point in the next couple of months, you will happen to find yourself being at the right place in the right time, having the right circumstances and the exact means necessary. But within those means, they will involve some kind of a sacrifice you have to make, to give up one thing for another, right? And it will be entirely up to you to decide how you want to play your cards here, right? And to decide, do you want to move forward and go for what you want, or you're going to stick into your path that's kind of like directs you toward what you have to. Okay, and the choice is going to be entirely yours. I need to warn you one thing. I'm sorry. What you want, it's also a wish to someone or to something else. And if you don't take it, someone else will have what you want. So at the end of the day, you are going to be the only one to be blamed for this if you lose it. Okay, yeah, that's what those cards are showing here. And for those of you who are not choosing what you want because you doubt yourself that you can't handle the situation for one or another way, you may want to change your job, but you are afraid that the new job is gonna is not gonna provide you to meet ends, or you want to change your location, but you doubt you're gonna find any friends, and so on and so forth. Okay, so whatever doubts you do have according to these cards, those doubts are in your mind, in your head, and actually you will do a really, really good job handling the situation and getting on top of it. But again, the window of opportunity will be very small, and you need to have that readiness to jump into action. You need to make the snap decision. What are you gonna do? You will stick with what you have to, or you're gonna go for what you want. Mattia, thank you so much for the double $4.99 US dollar support. One for me and one for a Pisces moonbeam as well. Okay, let me put that into the list. Oops. Yeah, it is, Debbie. It is. Scary, no. It's scary to a point where you don't know what is going to happen, but you know that things are not going to be the same from there on moving forward. I think that the last time that happened, what happened into the world, it is that the monarchy switched for democracy. Okay, or for any kind of other regimes. I have to double check, but it kind of fits with the time frame. Okay, where the monarchies starts falling apart aside from the British one, but yet again the British one, it's the I don't know how exactly works, but I'm pretty sure that the bigger portion of the power comes from the government rather than from the crown. I don't know how it works really, but bottom line here is that aside from Saudi Arabia, right, and maybe one other, Japan, where they have an emperor, and few other countries, the power is held by the people, which is the government. For a second. Hi, Pisces Moonbeam, I have your question. So, the uprisings, yeah, I mean, there were a few here and there, okay? Things doesn't have to go that way this time around, okay? And it doesn't have to affect how the world, what it's going to affect how the world works, but it doesn't have to affect, the power ladder or the power hierarchy. But things are going to change, yes. But it will be a slow process yet again, okay? For 20 years, almost 20 years. All right. First one for Cancer, we do have the Nine of Cups, followed by the Three of Cups, and the last one is the Two of Cups. Thank you for the feedback, Jane. Appreciate it. So these three cards. Hello, Eve. Not much movement for Cancer, aside from that they will be on the same page with person they love. Okay, that doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic love. It could be a parental one. You may find yourself being on the same page with your child and get a much stronger emotional connection with them. Okay, it could be as well with a friend or with a lover as well. But what these cards are speaking here is a very strong emotional connection, you being on the same page and having literally incentive to hide anything. So everything is going to be shared. Your life is going to be shared. Your state is going to be shared. State, I mean, kind of a state you do find yourself right now. As it changes, day to day, this state is going to be shared. Everything you consider that's, how can I put it into words, that makes you happy is to be shared, and the shared happiness for you, Cancer, will happen to be double the happiness. Shared pain, half the pain. Okay, nothing much more I can do here, I can say here. If you are concerned for your business, the only thing that these cards are showing here is that your business will be very calm, in a sense of that you will face no opposition and no entanglement with other people, with other companies, which will allow you to grow, simply. All right, so a couple of minutes, guys, and then I'm gonna move to Leo, to the next 4 star signs, which are gonna be Leo, Virgo, Leo, Virgo, Libra, and also Scorpio afterwards. If you do wish to support the stream and the channel through Super Chat, you can have your reading at the end of the stream. You are going to have your reading at the end of the stream. And should your Super Chat be $20 or above, the reading is going to be that very same elemental dignity reading I'm doing for the star signs themselves. Debbie, what are people congratulating you for? I kind of missed it here. Trying the knot. I don't understand that. What is the knot? Anyway. And things are already shifting here, guys. I mean, hopefully this Pluto is gonna bring a stable government here in my country, because for the last couple of years, 5 governments changed places. Literally 5 governments changed places. Or getting married. Well, that makes sense. The knot around your neck. That makes sense. Congratulations. I don't know if I should... Actually, I'm happy for you if you are happy for it. Okay? But... my personal opinion is that marriage is just, a signature on the bottom of a piece of paper. If you love each other, even if you aren't married, that doesn't change anything. But at the end of the day, yeah, I remember that. It was at the start of the live streams, which is about a couple of years ago. So you are moving fast, girl. You're moving very, very fast. You do have 2 years and you are already knotted. Right, on June 10. That is about the time where Pluto is moving back to Capricorn, so kind of makes sense. All right, Leo now. You're welcome. Temperance for Leo, followed by the Moon. And the third card for Leo, we do have the Hangman. So an unimaginable stir. It's what this transit is gonna bring you for the next couple of months here with those 3 cards. Okay. I do apologize for that. So unimaginable stir, because it kind of like it will happen. It will start happening with the peripheral activities which are not exactly very fashioned of yourself being set as a priority right now, but these activities will have an indomitable stand where you cannot simply neglect. And at least at the start, it may happen that you may consider those enterprises, so to speak, very annoying, a distraction, like you are distracted from your main course. And for the fair portion, you are going to be, okay? But here, your main course is going to be set on hold, so you're not going to lose anything, you're not going to waste anything. And for the next couple of months, your incentive for what those cards are showing here is to be an incentive of stabilizing everything else. So when you get back on your main course, whether it's a business growth, whether it is a family formation, whether it is a home establishment, whatever your main course is, you don't have any exteriors that can cause problems or straight away deteriorate your main course that you are trying to develop here. One thing that needs to be mentioned with that elemental dignity that we do have, which is temperance with the Hangman, it means that everything is going to be under this sense of emergency. So whenever something show up and appear, it needs to be addressed pretty much immediately. However, the good thing about those couple of cards is that you will not have to kind of like waste or spend, so to speak, a colossal resources or a colossal effort. Everything is going to be in the framework of the reasonable, right? So reasonable actions, reasonable expenditure, reasonable expenses, a reasonable approach, and so on and so forth. And through those reasonable actions, people that are even not in the same page with you, they are going to see reason in your behavior and in your actions, and they will be compelled to pretty much acknowledge your advance, your results, and you in general. And that will pretty much set the stage for compassion and solidarity within your business, within your love life, within your social interactions, and so on and so forth. So that is in a nutshell what this transit pretty much offers for you. So moving on, next we do have Virgo. King of Pentacles for Virgo. The second card is going to be the Five of Wands. The final one is going to be the Ace of Wands. So here for you, Virgo, it's a little bit... so this transit emphasizes on either a specific individual, like we said, or organization, okay? Which could be your social circle as well. So we're talking about an entity that considers investing in you in certain way. Now, these could be emotional investments, like to allow themselves to like you, to love you, whatever, right? Or a material investments, like is that entity gonna give you money, resources, comfort, stability, or not? And here, next couple of months are going to be months where you will have to, or rather, like you will have the task to show and even convince that entity that the task at hand that they are considering investing, whether a relationship with you, whether a business with you, whether some kind of an endeavor with you, is gonna worth their while. So, because bottom line here for that entity, it is that they're not doing it for you. It may looks like that way, right? It may looks like charity, but it isn't, okay? So they do expect to have something in return, although that something has nothing to do with you. Let me give you an example. Let's say that this entity, it's a person that has a very strict religious and, how can I put it into words? Religious and as well cultural family, that without them getting married are not going to include them in the will of the family, but the family is very, very rich. So that person wants to invest in you, their emotions and their money, but not because of you, but because they're gonna profit from that marriage, so to speak. And they will only invest if they know for certain that you are indeed gonna get married. That is just for example. Okay. Or another example, it is that this is an entity that wants to invest in your business, but without you knowing it, your business is in a straight competition with someone that this entity hates. Okay. And so before they do invest in your business, they have to make sure that you are going to destroy the person they hate. And that way, you win by them investing in you, they win by you destroying their competition, and so on and so forth. So the first thing that you need to find out, Virgo, it is what that entity really wants. What sits in the bottom of their incentive to invest in you, whether emotionally or whether materially. So that is what Pluto is going to bring to you, and maybe it's going to bring to you the revelation, the show up of what exactly sits behind the curtains with you and that person, social circle, or organization. Right. So moving next, we do have Libra. First one for Libra, that will be Six of Wands. followed by the same one, the Five of Wands. And it is the Eight of Pentacles. I gotta call my ex afterwards, actually tomorrow, because she is Libra, not she is my ex, she was my girlfriend. She's Libra, and that is something she's gonna like hearing. So what I have, what we do have here, Libra, for you, it's Pluto in. So this is how you need to look at it. Okay, when Pluto enters into Aquarius, it basically everything that was withheld from you as a result, as a success, so to speak. So let's say you have worked very, very hard to be successful as seller, right? So you are a retailer and you work very, very hard, but it doesn't seem that you are quite there yet, despite all of your efforts. You know, you kind of like, in measurement of some other people and what kind of an efforts they're putting in, you are way behind in results, despite that you are giving a much bigger efforts. Okay, well, Pluto, when it enters into Aquarius, it unlocks for you exactly that. So it's going to open up the floodgates of having those rewards that you so much worked for, whether being hired at a specific place or you know, being acknowledged or spotted straight away from a specific person or a specific entity. So generally this Pluto in Aquarius is going to bring you the results, the rewards, and as well the recognition that you so much worked for up until this point. And all of it, it's gonna come kind of like in a very random fashion, in a sense of that, you know, you would find yourself being very baffled at the end. Why now, right? Why now? What me? Why me? Well, you shouldn't concern yourself with those questions, okay? But only thing that you should concern yourself with is how you can cash in on that, how you can capitalize on these results, because they are just a milestones, actually, because it's just scratching up the surface. You can go for so much more. And this is what direction your brain should actually work toward. What I can do with these results to get myself even on a higher place than I'm finding myself now. Hello, Beatrice. All right, so that was Libra. So you can expect Libra to have a bunch of peak of experiences in the next couple of months. Next, we have Scorpio. Guys, do me a favor. Cross your fingers for it. Oh man, let's see. Seven of Cups with a Five of Swords, with a Four of Swords. It's so underwhelming. I have expected more. I am Scorpio, for those of you who doesn't know, but I have expected way more than that. So long story short, here Pluto going into Aquarius for according to these cards, again, Seven of Cups, Five of Swords, and a Four of Swords, is going to push us subconsciously, because Pluto is for what Pisces Moonbeam. Pisces Moonbeam, correct me if I'm wrong, but that planet actually represents our higher consciousness, meaning you know, things that we do without much thinking about it. But in any case, so here for us, this transit is going to be all about focusing on the essential. I don't know how to put it in another way. So the essential, how we as a Scorpio can make the things work. For example, yeah, so our subconscious. Yeah, all right. So how we can make things work. For example, how I can make things work with the channel, how I can make the things work in my love life, but that is without we crossing a certain line, because crossing a certain line here is going to produce even higher results, okay, but very unstable results. At the end, always gonna come crashing down like a freaking house of cards. But instead, if we are, how can I put it into words? If we are, come on, man, what is the word? Not careful. My God. Well, all right, so I'm going to try to explain it that way. So if we are in tune with how long we can stretch, right, with how much we can get away with one thing or another without pressing our luck, right, without again crossing a certain line of our capabilities, then things, although happening much slower than what we would like, are going to start taking shape and are going to start becoming possible. So here, as a Scorpio, we can take it that this Pluto is going to test us and show us what can and what cannot happen, because certain things are going to happen to be just fantasies, okay? They can never come true just because they are just out of our world, all right? So important thing for this transit, it is to be very objective for a Scorpio and not to believe into fairy tales, celluloid statements. In generally, anything we come up across with, like a promise, again, like a statement, we should check it against what we know to be true. And as well, we should check it against, how can I put it into words, what the person who said that is doing. Okay, we shouldn't be blind by words, and especially by emotional manipulation, because that is also something that could happen in the next couple of months. Beatrice, thank you for the 20 Australian. We are already covered. All right, so these 20 Australian goes directly to your love reading. Thank you, Beatrice. So let me put you into the list. Okay, and at the end of the stream, as with all Super Chat supporters, you are gonna have your personalized reading. You do have a specific inquiry, your love life. Just tell me, for a bigger accuracy, because the cards read differently if you are single or not. Can you tell me if you are single or not? In other words, are you inquiring for a specific relationship you're in, or you are looking for such? For a couple of minutes, and You are looking for one, all right. Thank you, Beatrice, again, for your kindness. Oh my God! Yasmin, I'm sorry. I thank you for the $20 US, Yasmin. PayPal. It didn't came as it did not notified me, so I do apologize for that. Let me put you into the list. Yasmin right after Jasmine. So thank you, Yasmin, for the $20 US. Alright, guys, getting into it. Just hold on a second. I was handling something here with a customer. Couple of minutes, and then I'm gonna do Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces at the end. That's crying faces for me, guys. From Pisces Moonbeam, that laughing, crying face is for me. All right, not Scorpio, Sagittarius. Okay, let's get into it now. To talk to you about love. Yeah, that'd be magic. You got it. Thank you for the $20 US. Thank you. So like with Beatrice, I need to know, are you inquiring for a specific situation, or you are looking for one, right? So it will be better for me knowing that. I mean, it's going to be better for the reading because the cards read differently if you are inquiring for a specific situation or if you are looking for one, for love, that is. Anyway, Sagittarius, Queen of Swords. All right, so you're looking. Afterwards, we do have Queen of Swords. Is that right? Yeah. The Moon card. And the final one for Sagittarius. Oh my God. We have the Star next to the Queen of Swords. So forget the Moon card for a second here, all right? We actually don't need that one. So what the Moon card next to the Queen of Swords really does, it kind of shows you that we as a Sagittarius, and I'm saying we, I'm so glad I do have such a strong stellium there. We as a Sagittarius are going to be a little bit more forewarned than we should, okay? So we will have a better glimpse of what is to come than we should have it. And therefore being forewarned makes us forewarned, forearmed, I'm sorry, and we do have a bigger incentive, so to speak, how to, and knowledge how to prepare for what is to come. What is to come, guys? Those two cards, okay? So I don't know where to begin from with these two. So what they speak about Aquarius, it is that the time of the times that are surrounded by bullshit generally, and that are and struggle, so to speak. That's one thing though, is going to pretty much end. For the reason being is that we are going to solve everything, because with that Queen of Swords being at the prime of the reading, supported by the Star card, literally we are gonna quash whatever rebellions, right? Whatever opposition, whatever difficulties, and quashing it is gonna be in a way we see fit for how to proceed forward. Now, from there on moving forward, one of the two things are gonna take place, whether an unfolding love, depending on if this plays out in your social in your social circle and you know, in your love life, or a very successful and a long-term prosperity, if that's a word, you know, a prosperity for a long time moving forward into the future in terms of your business. Now that could be a huge sprawling business, all right, or it could be a job that allows you to climb as high as CEO in it, right? That could be a market which is hungry for your skills and for your knowledge, and just you gotta sell yourself in it. Okay, so what we do have here for Sagittarius, it is a very strong transit for the next couple of months, where they are really gonna show what they're made of and cash in on all of that they can do and all of that they can show to the world. Very strong one. All right, next that will be Capricorn. Ace of Swords. Then we do have the Knight of Wands. And it is the Nine of Pentacles. This is a bit of a back step that we have, okay? And the back step comes from these two cards here, the Ace of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles. So what happened is that with those two cards, it is that, well, it could actually play out in many different forms. But bottom line is that in the next couple of months, you will kind of like, for the lack of better word or expression, I'm going to say you will see the truth. And by seeing or hearing the truth, you will understand that you just can't go forward like this, and therefore this is going to pretty much sap certain developments you are establishing or you are trying to go for, okay? So the least more preparation, or the very least more conversations in regards how things are to move forward needs to be established. And you may look at that as some kind of a curse, right? You may look at that as some kind of as a setback. And while it is a setback, definitely it is not a curse. For through these conversations you're going to have, you will see much more different, or rather like you will see the situation much more versatile than before, right? And much more exciting than before. And yeah, while the transit itself you may consider as a loss, in a sense of that certain progresses you do counted for are not going to take place there according to these cards, right? These progressions, so to speak, will be developed further into the future, so you're not losing it, you are just restructuring it in a certain way. But your expectations for this Pluto in Aquarius, it is to talk about how things really are, and I mean really are, and how things are to move forward in your marriage, in your career, in your again business, and so on and so forth. And those conversations are going to be very exciting. Okay, exciting for the prospect that can be accomplished after, you know, things kind of like unblock themselves moving forward. And again, remember, there will be more than one thing, more than one way, I'm sorry, to go forward with it. So you need to have your mind open for different varieties, for different options available. And another thing here is that you may get to know yourself with other people, or like you may get introduced to a person or different sets of people that will happen to be very mesmerizing and very enthralling. You will find them very enterprising. Okay, so what is going to come out of it, well, that depends entirely on you. Moving forward, we do have Aquarius. For Aquarius, King of Wands, it is the first card, followed by the second card of the Four of Wands. And the final card for Aquarius, we do have the Chariot. Right. So for Aquarius, it's going to be all about enjoying life for the next couple of months. This is going to be especially valid for those of you Aquarius who had to work really hard in the recent past and you didn't have much time for yourself. But now as Pluto moves into Aquarius, into your star sign, most of what you had to accomplish will be already find itself being accomplished. And for the next couple of months, you will have a very much little, or rather like much smaller emergencies that you will have to address, a much smaller not incentives but much smaller urgent matters at hand, and therefore you can have a much more time for yourself. Well, the King of Wands stands for enjoying a life to its full. So you may find yourself going more on parties, spending time with friends, you know, organizing barbecues here and there, or whatever you do, guys, do. But on a more ambitious scale, those cards here are showing that next couple of months are also going to give you the, not the incentive, but the necessary aspects, the necessary means to further your agenda. Not your agenda, I'm sorry, your ambition. Now these are two different things. So whatever you are ambitious about, you can transform it into a very powerful drive, because things are going to happen to be much easier than you have initially anticipated. And we can see that with this elemental dignity here, which is a active enemies, the Chariot to the King of Wands. The only negative aspect to that elemental dignity in this sense, it is that as you do move forward with your ambition, you may find the ambition itself being more underwhelming than you have imagined it that is going to be. That doesn't make it less valuable though. And last but not least, we do have Pisces. So we do have the Knight of Wands. Then it is the Star card. And the final one is going to be the Seven of Wands. So that is a person, Pisces, that steps up for you, or steps up into your environment. And that is a person that holds you on a very high regard. So for them, okay, you are the pinnacle of standard, the pinnacle of ideals, so to speak. So if there isn't an ideal person to make a business with, for that individual, you are that person. If there isn't an ideal person to make love with, for that individual, well, you are that ideal person. And the other thing about them, it is that they are ready to fight tooth and nail for their position. So for example, once you do have a business together, whomever wants to mess around with that business will see a fierce enemy in the face of that individual here, the Knight of Wands. Same thing goes if you end up being romantically entangled. Now, the negative aspect, or rather like the unpleasant aspect of the Knight of Wands, it is that they can't stay on one place. What I mean is that they jump from one thing to another, and they constantly need to be, for the lack of a better word, I'm going to say entertained, although not exactly. What I mean is that they need to constantly have an interest into something, so interest into you, and therefore that will force you, or is going to make you, to change activities. For example, if you are going to start opening up a business together, right? The business is going to do one thing for half a year, then it's going to switch to another thing, then onto a third thing, because they do constantly need to make themselves, make their environment, so to speak, interesting. And should you end up being romantically involved with that individual, well, you are off for such a crazy ride, because they just, they always surprise you with something. They are, the activities they are proposing, and the surprises that they are setting up are out of this world. It is just something you would never expect. But alas, these people are very active, and they always have something in their sleeve that's kind of like makes you wow for it. And whatever you end up having to be a part of with that person, you should know that they are ready to pretty much see it through to reach the very end. They do not involve themselves into things. They kind of, how can I put it into words? They have doubts that they're going to sit with to the very end. So that was Pisces. And now I'm going to go for the super chat. any who supported the stream and the channel through super chat, you guys are gonna have a reading just right now. Let me get the cards for personal readings. Give me a minute. Okay, I'm gonna go first because I will do a Lenormand reading for myself. I cannot be objective with the tarot. About myself, that is. There be another note. Doesn't make much sense, but actually it does. But I don't see it happening, okay? But basically, what those cards are showing here as a Lenormand, it is that my personality is gonna bring me a lot of money. That is what they say. And you may think that is something natural into what I do. I can assure you that it isn't. But it may become so. We will see. Or a very rich lady may fall in love with me. That also counts, because it's my personality she falls in love with, right? So that also counts. Although I don't know, I mean, I'm not into the sugar baby sugar daddy kind of thing, but in any way. All right, so next up, Pisces Moonbeam. To her question. Quick answer, no. Because you do have a lot to talk about. This time in a much more, I would rather say it's mature fashion, okay? To the point, that is. Not the freaking point, okay? Not the emotional point, to the point. Right, next, that will be Mattia. I don't know, Jen. I mean, if you're feeling lucky, I'm never lucky with those things. So I never even tried, you know. But I know that that's not my thing. This is not how I'm gonna get how I'm gonna get rich. Knights of Wands, Mattia, with the Six of Wands, with the Hangman. So that is a person, okay? That is a person or an entity. It could be also an entity for you, but it is a person. And what these cards are showing is that next couple of months are going to be very successful for you and that person. And you get to recognize that person by up until this point, you haven't been successful. That is very reminiscent to a reading that had been made for one of the star signs. Okay, very reminiscent one. That Hangman, being next to the fire card, it pretty much talks like that. That up until the point of the reading, okay, things just was not the time to happen, but now the time is nigh, and the incentives are gonna start rolling down, okay? So should that be a business partner of yours and you're trying to set up some kind of a deal, trying to set up some kind of a business, and it's just, you know, you are facing plights left, right, and center. You are facing problems here and there. Things are just not going on despite what you do. Now they are about to. Okay, now they are about to. And they're going to be very successful. That Six of Wands next to the Knight of Wands will be... it's just, you know, it will be with ease. I don't know what to say. Another thing how this could play out is that you may be looking to entangle yourself or to forge a partnership with someone, and just you haven't found that person. Okay, no one around you kind of like fits very well with what you are looking for. Well, then these cards stands for what you are looking for as a partner. For whatever reason, romantic partner, business partner, friend, no matter what, or a help, okay, it's gonna show up, and you're gonna have a really, really good time with that individual or with that entity. That is what those cards are showing for you, Mattia. Once you kind of like go along with it, okay, it's very important to allow that person to express themselves the way they see fit. Knight of Wands, especially in such a in such a dignity as we do have here, they don't perform very well when they are enforced or stifled or being told what to do. You just well, you can tell him what he needs to do, or her, because it could be a woman as well, but you can tell her or him what they need to do, but how they are to do it, you gotta leave that to them, right? That is important. So be on the lookout on that for that person if you don't have one yet around you, and if you do know now who I am talking about, emphasize your attention to the interaction you do have with them. All right, next one, that will be Jasmine. King of Cups. You also have an individual, Jasmine, with the Four of Swords. And then we have the Hierophant. That is most likely with a romantic incentive here. Now bear in mind, Jasmine, it is that at the end of the day, you do get to say, right? At the end of the day, you do get to say, okay, yes, or no, I don't want to. Okay, so this isn't a guaranteed romantic relationship, but we do have a romantic incentive here, and you will have your offer. So one way or another, that person is gonna offer to be with you, and that is because they trust you and they do see you reliable. Very small chance to be in regards to business, okay? And if so, it will be a job offer that will fall, how can I put it into words? It will fall completely with your professional expertise. So that will be a job that you can do very, very well. But I don't know, I don't think it is a job, because those cards are showing is that that person had made their mind, and their mind is to offer you emotional thing, all right? Emotional thing. They do have emotions which are meant only for you, and they are gonna offer you something based on those emotions. That doesn't sound like a job, does it? But I don't know, it could be. I guess if you can fall in love with your problems, you can fall in love with your job, but I don't know. So yeah, you can expect to be offered in the next couple of months. And by the way, Jasmine, a little hint here. There is no reason to deny it. That is how it stands. I'm just going to plainly say it. There is no reason for you to deny it. But at the end, it is your choice. Okay. No matter what it is offered, it has a potential to go for a lifetime. That was your reading, Jasmine. Next, we do have Yasmin. Hello, Ashley. Yeah, having quite fun. All right, Yasmin, you also have a person. Look at that, Queen of Cups. Oh my God, with the 8 of Cups, with the 2 of Pentacles. Now this could be that could play out in many ways, right? For example, which is very prominent, by the way. That might be someone who forgives you. So the Pluto in Aquarius is going to bring you that forgiveness you need or you hope for, right? Another way how we can look at it or how can be interpreted, that is an individual who changes their opinion for you. And there is a very specific set of circumstances if that's going to be the case. So that is someone who did not either believed in you or was disappointed in you by you doing things, right? By you approaching matters in a certain way. And now Pluto in Aquarius is going to show them that you did your best. That it is literally, there wasn't a better way how things can be done. And so they are to see that actually they were wrong. And they will change their opinion about you in much, how can I put it into words, in the ultimate favorable. And so you can have a friend, partner, generally someone that you can definitely rely on. But there is no doubt here that person has emotions for you. Now these emotions doesn't have to be pure love, right? They could be friendship, a liking, but they could be love as well. And they hate themselves for it. Okay, they don't like having emotions so deep for someone, but they do for you. And it will be very advisable not to exploit them. Okay, so the best approach you can have with that person is to be open with them, and also to be very discreet. And that is, by the way, how you are going to recognize them. That is an individual who is very, very discreet with what you have to say, what you have to do, and what you are going through. They understand what you are going through, in fact. And another way how you are going to recognize them, it is that you can always find shelter there. I mean, they will offer you a wing to go under, and can I put it into words? A wing to go under, and always find a moral and emotional support, although physical is highly unlikely that they will be able to provide. Taco, thank you so much for the 22 US dollars. Taco, thank you, mate. You will have your reading for the transit. Hold on, let me put you into the list. All right, next we do have Beatrice. I always wanted to visit that city, you know. Probably I never will. But it is it is one of my go-to. If I go to United States, I want to visit Miami. I want to visit Las Vegas. I can't figure out anything else I want to see there. Me neither. I mean, and you are in the United States. Your inheritance, that's what you're gonna gamble. I know. That's why I want to go there. All right, Beatrice. Those are your cards. And you do know each other, all right? So you are inquiring for love. You are looking for love. You do know each other. Okay, with the person that you will have a chance to be with. The next person you're going to have a chance to be with, you do know each other, and but you don't have a thing for each other yet. And we can see that with the moon card. Okay. The time frame, hold on a second. June, July, August, September, mid of September this year, right? So mid of September this year, you will have a mutual benefit, or rather, like, you will benefit from each other in a situation, and that is going to be the situation you will find out that you can be together, and that is going to be the breaking point, meaning make it or break it. And depending on your choice, that will define what your next cycle is going to be. All right, so next cycle, in a sense of that, are you going to be single after the middle of September or not? And you don't have thing for each other is because that individual right now, they are just, you know, not sticking into one thing. They don't have the mindset to be with someone, because for them that is gonna anchor them, and they don't want to be anchored right now, so they don't flirt, they don't, or at least with you, right? They don't kind of like show themselves as a potential partners, but they will. That is how love is looking for you in the next few months. Gotta be magic. Let's see what we have for you. Oh, and another thing, Beatrice, you should not be the initiator here. They are the initiator, right? According to these cards, at the very least. Another thing from them is that you're not gonna end up being single. They rarely show something like that, but for you, that's what they showed. All right, that'll be magic. Those are your cards. Let me give you time frame here. It's undefined, and that kind of makes sense. So your cards are more like guidance than anything else. Okay. Why is that? Well, because according to them, you do not lack options available. Even you may not seeing them, you do not lack options available. What you do lack, though, it's for the lack of better word, I'm gonna say it courage. Not exactly courage. So what those cards are showing here, it is that from a fear of things not being able to happen, or somewhere along the way things not working out, that kind of like, I don't know if consciously or subconsciously, that thing blocks you of allowing certain individuals to have a chance with you. So in other words, here you may find it very hard to believe that people can change, and they can change. Okay, they can change, especially if people kind of like fall in love, which many can with you, right? And basically, whenever you do overcome that fear of being left alone because things not working out, and therefore it doesn't make sense to start a relationship with someone you may think things not gonna work out. Whenever you do overcome that fear and you actually do give a chance to the poor guy or a woman, depending on your preferences, because there are such more than one person, okay, then things are gonna kind of work out for you. But you also have a card which shows that you are gonna end up in a relationship here with the Hangman whenever the time is right, and the time is gonna be right when you don't have that bias. So you gotta work on that bias and completely stifle it, if that makes sense. They also have a guidance for you in a sense of that what you should aim for. You should aim for people that you can trust. So in other words, you got to spend enough time with them so you can see are they trustworthy or not. And also people that you can rely on, meaning that's I don't know what that means. Well, I have an idea because Pisces Moonbeam explained me for Charon, all right, and but Moon in Gemini kind of explains, okay. But anyway, so yeah, trust in mutual reliability. So you gotta allow yourself to be the weak one. That is, but before you do allow that to happen, you need to make sure that that person is someone you can trust and you can rely on, and that happens little by little, right? So if someone is very pushy, if someone is, it's kind of like urges you to commit right away, then it's not a good thing. But yet you gotta allow people to get in touch with you, you gotta give them a chance, in a sense of to get to know you and to start proving that they are trustworthy and reliable. That is your reading. So how long you're going to be single, that depends on you. And the first thing you got to do is overcome the fear. All right, Taco. Let's check you out, my guy. Thank you. Yeah, that'd be magic. Oof. Or do you know what? It's not exactly it's not exactly the combo. Okay, it's not exactly the combo. These are your cards. Well, that's great, mate. I mean, we can definitely play something out. But so I had a client about, I don't know how long it was, 3.5 years ago, and that client said that they are a gambler, right? And they just wanted to check out, are they gonna win something this evening? That they are going to the casino. And I told them, Tarot cannot exactly tell you that. Or the best I can do is to tell you, are you going to be lucky or not? But being lucky doesn't mean that you are going to win, right? Because you may be lucky all evening and then you go all in, and this is where your luck kind of like caves and you just lose everything. So it doesn't mean that you're going to win. But what we do have there is what it was. I remember it very well. It was the Wheel of Fortune with an influence of the Eight of Wands. And that is one of the best combos you can have for luck. The better one would have been Judgment and Ace of Wands. Okay. And a few days later, I get an email that this person won $27,000. So I guess the cards were right. Okay. But for you, Taco, this Pluto into Aquarius really gonna bring you a lucky change. I don't know how to put it into another words that will touch on your problems. Okay. So this, wherever you do find things being problematic, things are going to start happening there. Kind of like it will feel very random and you won't know what's going on, but before you know it, this problem disappears, right? The other problem gone, vanishes. The third problem. So left, right, and center, things are going to start solving themselves literally on their own accord. And that will allow you to get much firmer control over your day-to-day routine. I would say over your life, but it is over your day-to-day routine. And whenever problem starts to disappear, you are to see a way how to make a change that will be once in a lifetime for yourself, right? For you, that is. Whether you're going to make it or not, that depends entirely on you, mate. But before you go forward and make that change, it will be very important that you do consult yourself with specialists. Because that could be a business change, therefore you should seek a business specialist. Or some kind of a change in regards to your health, then obviously you have to see yourself with doctors, practitioners, and so on and so forth. But some kind of a change that will include professionals into that field. And it will be very, very important that you do consult yourself with them and you do follow what they are telling you, right? But you can improve your life tenfold. This is the opportunity that Pluto in Aquarius has in store for you, and it starts with the resolution, the vanishment, the disintegration, the annihilation of your problems. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah. All right, guys, that is gonna do it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed the stream. You enjoyed your readings. Those of you who supported the stream through Super Chat. And we are going to see each other very, very soon, maybe Monday. And until then, bye.